Welcome to the second lesson of the module Gamification. Today we will explore the principles and features of design thinking, and in particular, IDEO's design thinking concept and its application in education. This lesson will offer you the definition and exploration of the concept of edutainment, discussing its benefits when combined with design thinking in enhancing the learning experience. Finally, we will focus on some real-world examples of how edutainment can be integrated into educational programs to improve engagement and learning outcomes. In this first phase, we will focus on the definition of the concept of design thinking. Design thinking encompasses both a methodology and a mindset. What sets design thinking apart from other frameworks, like project-based learning, is its focus not only on skills, but also on cultivating mindsets such as empathy, creative confidence, learning from failure, and optimism. This evidence strongly supports the correlation between the development of soft skills, such as creativity, problem identification, collaboration, and communication, and the practice of design thinking among educators. Design thinking could be a solution for tackling new problems and explores how its concepts can be applied outside of new product development. Tim Brown says that design thinking always starts with what humans might need. After understanding the human need, the second step is defined by prototyping as a vehicle for progress. Design thinking helps to develop the mindsets and skills needed in today's world, enabling people to be creative problem solvers. By fostering these skills and mindsets, schools can create fairer learning environments that use technology to enhance creative tasks and narrow the digital divide. As workplaces adapt to new technologies, important skills like problem solving and effective communication will become crucial in complementing what machines can do. We live in the second machine age, characterized by advancements in big data, artificial intelligence, and robotics. The World Economic Forum refers to it as the fourth industrial revolution. Despite these technological advancements, this progress does not automatically lead to equal opportunity. In fact, the World Economic Forum stresses the importance of providing opportunities for everyone in today's world. For this reason, schools will play a strong role in shaping a future focused on technology and people. World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report maps the jobs and skills of the future, tracking the pace of change and direction of travel. Greater adoption of technology will mean in-demand skills across jobs change over the next 5 years, and skills gaps will continue to be high. Critical thinking and problem-solving top the list of skills that employers believe will grow in prominence in the next 5 years. These have been consistent since the first report in 2016. Emerging skills are self-management such as active learning, resilience, stress tolerance, and flexibility. We are now able to move on and introduce the process behind design thinking. Design thinking is a non-linear framework that shapes your approach to managing change. Indeed, it can be applied in problem finding, problem solving, and opportunity exploration. Design thinking model involves a continuous loop between inspiration, ideation, and implementation to enhance potential solutions. The process is based upon different rules: the human rule, the ambiguity rule, the redesign rule, and the tangibility rule. Let's have a closer look to each of them. The human rule. This rule emphasizes that all design activity, regardless of the context, is inherently social in nature. Any effort towards social innovation will ultimately bring us back to a human-centric perspective. Keeping the human-centric point of view at the forefront is crucial for creating meaningful and impactful designs. The ambiguity rule acknowledges that ambiguity is an unavoidable part of the design process. Ambiguity cannot be completely removed or oversimplified. In fact, embracing and experimenting with ambiguity, even at the limits of one's knowledge and abilities, is crucial for being able to see things from new and different perspectives. The redesign rule suggests that all design, even the most innovative and revolutionary, is fundamentally a process of redesign. While the technological landscape and social circumstances may constantly change and evolve, the underlying human needs and desires that design seeks to address remain largely unchanged over time. The tangibility rule emphasizes the importance of making ideas tangible through the creation of prototypes. Prototyping, whether it's physical models, digital mock-ups, or even role-playing scenarios, enables designers to communicate their ideas more effectively. Tangible prototypes help bridge the gap between abstract ideas and concrete experiences. The design thinking process can be broken down into 5 steps or phases: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. Let's explore each of these in more detail. The empathy phase involves observing, engaging, and immersing yourself in the experience of those you are designing for. It's where the most challenges arise, yet it's the most critical phase. In the define stage, empathy findings are analyzed and formulate an actionable problem statement, often beginning with, "How might we?" This statement promotes an optimistic perspective and encourages collaborative thinking among designers. In the ideate phase, you generate a range of design possibilities, focusing on quantity over quality. The goal is to create numerous options to explore potential combinations. Feasibility is not a concern at this stage. The emphasis is on imagining what could be possible. Ultimately, one idea or a combination of ideas is selected for further development in the next phase. During the prototype phase, the design team takes the ideas that were narrowed down and selected during the ideation phase and creates them in a tangible, physical, or digital form. This allows the ideas to be tested and evaluated more effectively. The last phase of design thinking consists of rigorously testing the complete product, using the best solutions identified during the prototyping phase. This is the time to go back to the users to gather feedback. The prototype is put in front of real customers, and it is verified that it achieves its objectives. Now we move forward and explore a specific methodology created by IDEO, a global design company. Their methodology is called human-centered design. It begins by understanding the individuals for whom you're creating solutions and culminates in tailor-made innovations that cater precisely to their requirements. At its core, human-centered design involves fostering profound empathy with the target audience, generating a multitude of ideas, crafting several prototypes, sharing these creations with the intended beneficiaries, and ultimately launching your innovative solution into the world. Human-centered design isn't a perfectly linear process, and each project invariably has its own contours and character. Human-centered design is uniquely situated to arrive at solutions that are desirable, feasible, and viable. By starting with humans, their hopes, fears, and needs, we quickly uncover what's most desirable. But that's only one lens through which we look at our solutions. Once we've determined a range of solutions that could appeal to the community we're looking to serve, we then start to home in on what is technically feasible to actually implement and how to make the solution financially viable. If you are interested in the topic and want to practice what you have learnt so far, there's a guide to human-centered design that offers practical resources and tools to develop an idea, from brainstorming to implementation. Now, some of you may be wondering, who is considered a designer? Anyone could be considered a designer. Creative confidence is the belief that everyone is creative, and that creativity isn't the capacity to draw or compose or sculpt, but a way of understanding the world. Creative confidence is the quality that human-centered designers rely on when it comes to making leaps, trusting their intuition, and chasing solutions that they haven't totally figured out yet. It can take time to build creative confidence, and part of getting there is trusting that the human-centered design process will show you how to bring a creative approach to whatever problem is at hand. In addition, human-centered designers are doers, crafters, and builders. They build these so that they can test them, and because actually making something reveals opportunities and complexities that they'd never have guessed were there. Making is also a fantastic way to think, and it helps bring into focus the feasibility of designs. Moreover, making an idea real is an incredibly effective way to share it. Another characteristic of the designer's mindset is to learn from failure. Failure is an incredibly powerful tool for learning. Designing experiments, prototypes, and interactions and testing them is at the heart of human-centered design. Human-centered design starts from a place of not knowing what the solution to a given design challenge might be. Only by listening, thinking, building, and refining our way to an answer, we get something that will work for the people we're trying to serve. And more. Empathy and ambiguity. Empathy is the capacity to step into other people's shoes, to understand their lives, and start to solve problems from their perspectives. Human-centered design is premised on empathy, on the idea that the people you're designing for are your roadmap to innovative solutions. In addition, Human-centered designers always start from the place of not knowing the answer to the problem they're looking to solve. By embracing that ambiguity, and by trusting that the human-centered design process will guide us toward an innovative answer, we actually give ourselves permission to be fantastically creative. The last two aspects of the designer's mindset are optimism and the iterative approach. Optimism is the embrace of possibility. The idea that even if we don't know the answer, that it's out there and that we can find it. In addition to driving us towards solutions, optimism makes us more creative, encourages us to push on when we hit dead ends. The iterative approach is adopted to solve problems because it makes feedback from the people we're designing a critical part of how a solution evolves. By continually iterating, refining, and improving the work, it's possible to try a variety of approaches, unlock creativity, and get more quickly at successful solutions. Iteration allows the opportunity to explore, to get it wrong, but ultimately arrive at a solution that will be adopted and embraced. Iterating allows us to keep learning. For those of you who want to explore more and challenge themselves, there's a guidebook, Design Thinking for Educators, that can equip you with the process and methods of design, so you can be more intentional about facing and solving for your current challenges. After discovering the power of design thinking, we are now ready to explore what edutainment is and its importance as an educational methodology. Edutainment is a revolutionary new method of learning for the new generation. But what exactly is edutainment, and what are the benefits of edutainment? Edutainment translates to learning while having fun. Edutainment was introduced with the mere objective of making learning more enjoyable, more memorable, and more understandable. There are many definitions given to this neologism over the decades, mainly with the intention of making it as broad and up-to-date as possible. An initial approach to the sector of school education has been followed by the extension to any form of entertainment, with the aim of imparting knowledge at the same time. Edutainment breaks the barriers of the traditional methods of teaching. Instead of channeling their energies outside the classroom, edutainment aims at engaging all their senses within. Edutainment materials have been found to engage students in different ways than traditional textbooks, which are often dry and boring. Edutainment offers a unique approach that fosters both academic learning and personal growth, while also stimulating students' visual thinking and creative expression. It provides a valuable complement to traditional teaching methods, creating a more engaging and holistic learning experience for students. Moreover, it positively captures the attention of students, thereby enhancing concentration and focus through the involvement of the students' senses. It results in higher engagement. Edutainment creates a virtuous circle in which students have higher motivation and therefore even high retention of topics learnt. In addition, it helps students understand complex theoretical concepts in a simple and fun-to-understand manner, providing students an opportunity to connect to the subject through the use of a practical and hands-on approach to make them more confident in their abilities. Despite what could be thought, edutainment is not restricted to conventional classrooms. It can happen anytime, anywhere, as it utilizes multiple platforms, such as narration, storytelling, games, movies, podcasts, etc. Finally, edutainment supports those with learning difficulties by incorporating a personalized approach. Lastly, edutainment gives students the time and freedom to learn at their own pace and make them empathetic, allowing them to become more expressive, more observant, and more aware of the things happening in their environment. In the next slides, we provide you with a list of examples of successful incorporation of edutainment into educational programs, leading to a positive impact on students' interest and learning effectiveness. Gamification in learning. Many educational programs have integrated game elements into their teaching approaches. For example, apps and online platforms use gamification to make learning more engaging by rewarding students with points, badges, or completed levels as they progress through their educational journey. This playful approach stimulates students' intrinsic motivation, increasing their participation and attention to content. Education through video and interactive media. Educational programs that adopt educational videos or interactive media, such as quizzes, interactive animations, simulations, succeed in capturing students' attention more effectively than traditional teaching methods. For example, online platforms that offer engaging educational videos with interactive elements enable students to learn more vividly and dynamically. Even hands-on learning projects can be an integral part of edutainment. For example, interactive science labs, field trips, real-life case simulations, or art projects encourage students to actively explore and apply what they have learnt in real-life contexts, thus enhancing their understanding of and interest in the subject. Finally, theatre and educational performances can be used as an educational tool to effectively engage students emotionally. This method has been used to address social, historical, or scientific issues in an engaging way, offering students a more immersive and memorable learning experience. We have come to the end of the second lesson. Before we proceed to the next one, the upcoming slides will cover the key takeaways from our discussion so far. In conclusion, you can have a look at the following suggested reading and videos to deepen your knowledge about the topic.